안녕하세요, 여러분. 저는 고엔이라고 하고요. 오늘은 한글을 가르치려고 합니다. 네. Did you get that? Hi, everyone. My name is Gwen, and today I'm going to be teaching you Hangul, the Korean alphabet. Whether you're completely new to Korean or whether this is sort of your second or third go around with it, I hope that this specific PPT will be of use to you, and yeah, hopefully I will make learning Korean fun. That's always the goal. So yeah, thank you for taking this first step, this journey with me. And I also ask you to please bear with me because this is the first time I'm sort of doing this lecture, like recording over a PPT. So if there's any technical difficulties, yada, 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 this is a very 60-year-old professor type of thing to do. So I'm not used to it for sure. So yeah, with that, let us begin. All right. So just a disclaimer here from the get-go, I am not of Korean descent, as I'm sure you may be able to guess, and I am also not claiming, therefore, to be any type of expert on the Korean language. I for sure don't know everything there is to know. However, I've studied it for 4 years now, and I also studied abroad in South Korea, in Daegu, South Korea, for 1 year. And I was in the language program that met for 20 hours every week for the entire year. So with that being said, I do know a little bit about what I'm talking about. So I'm really passionate about the Korean language, and I hope to instill that same sort of fire, that same sort of energy about the language in you. And yeah, so if you have any questions at all, please email me, contact me somehow, and I will make sure to get your question answered. That also being said, I promise to teach you accurate information. I understand that you are putting your trust in me, and you are taking that step, that amazing step towards becoming bilingual, multilingual, whether this is your first language or several others. And you are putting your trust in me to introduce the Korean language to you, which I do not take lightly. I think that's awesome, and I applaud you. So yes, with that, I will be teaching you entirely accurate information. If I don't know the answer to a question that you may ask, I will definitely make sure to get the right answer to you. I'll ask my Korean friends, things like that. So yes, if you don't know something, I'm not going to pretend like I know the answer to your question. Of course, I will just try to make sure that I can get the right answer to you. Yeah, because in the long run, it only hurts you if I pretend like I know and like teach you false information, right? So we're not going to do that. This is a partnership, right? Alrighty. And again, just so you know, I'm not talking out of my butt. Here are all of the resources I used to create this PPT. I've done a lot of research to do this short course, just because I think that it's really important that more Americans specifically become bilingual or get interested in other cultures. You know, there's that communication theory that language shapes the worldview, and I truly believe that if we learn more languages, we will have so much more insight into how other people around the world think and how different our cultures are and how they can mix. So yeah, here are the resources I used to make this the most fun as possible. So without further ado, let's go. Let's jump in. So first, just a little bit of history on Hangul, which again is the Korean alphabet. It was first created during the Joseon Dynasty period in 1443. So before I started learning Korean, I thought that at one point Koreans spoke Chinese because they used Chinese characters. And that is not true whatsoever. Koreans have always spoken the Korean language, but they just used Chinese characters to write out the Korean syllables. And they eventually figured out, well, these aren't really quite accurate for how we want to express ourselves. So King oh my goodness, I'm going crazy. King Sejong, I apologize. King Sejong decided to create a linguist contest, and all the linguists in the country got together and they tried to create a simple alphabet. Simple alphabet. I needed to repeat that because most people think that it's all pictures, right? Like, this just looks way too complicated to learn, so you never can. But this is actually one of the only languages in the world that was literally created to be simple to learn, right? Because they had to, after the period of colonialism, they had to literally teach the entire country a new alphabet. So of course they would want to make it easy, right? So yes, although it looks scary at first, Hangul only has 24 letters. Also, you see that there's like an E in that Hangul. You can spell it either way when you write it out in English. I just wanted to correct that little thing there. But yeah, Hangul only has 24 letters, which is less than our English 26 letter alphabet. 14 consonants, but with those letters you can create little combinations as well. So why not give it a shot? That's why you're here, right? All right, let's get started. So I do want to give credit to this author. This is my favorite comic strip for learning the Korean alphabet. I think that it's really helpful and I hope you enjoy it as well. This is how I learned the alphabet as well 4 years ago. So since we're going to work on pronunciation, things like that, it'll probably take a little bit longer than 15 minutes, but we'll try to kick through this real fast. Okay, look dudes, I know Korean looks super hard to read, like one of those pictorial languages where you gotta learn a new symbol for every dang word, but it's actually just a super simple alphabet, maybe the easiest alphabet in the world. Unlike other writing systems that evolved over generations, one dude sat down one day and made up the Korean alphabet. So there's fewer letters and they always sound the same. I'm gonna teach you. Okay, just remember these 11 letters. All right, so we are gonna take a look over here. On the left side of the screen, you can see that first box. We are going to skip over that for now and you will see why later. So we're gonna start with that weird looking thing with the word bucket next to it, okay? So picture this character as an actual bucket with like water or some other liquid in it. So just like a bucket, it makes the sound B, B. So I'm hoping you're gonna pause the video and repeat after me or something, but B, B. So that's biup, and that makes the sound B, like bucket. So exactly what it looks like. The second one, or the one right underneath that, it kind of looks like a door, like it's got like a little edge there, so it makes the D sound, D, D. Then if you go down more, that one kind of looks like a gun a little bit, right? So it makes the sound G, G, and that is called giok. Of course, everything has like their alphabet letter name, but you don't really have to remember those for Korean as long as you understand the sound that they make, because the sounds don't change. So continuing down, we are going to skip that one as well. You'll see why. These are the only two I'm going to come back to. So see where it says map? That little box, it looks kind of like a map, right? You got to have a good imagination with Korean, I guess. But that map character makes the sound M, 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 M. Good. I'm just kidding. It's kind of like Dora the Explorer where I'm like, wow. So hopefully this is all making sense so far. The next one down, it looks kind of like a nice European schnoz, right? So that makes the sound N, N, kind of like in the word nose. And keep in mind that these words next to it, those are not like the meanings of these. These are just to help with the sound that the characters make. So moving on, the thing right under the nose, it kind of looks like the sequel symbol, like in movies, right? So that means like p, or it makes the sound p. So when you think like part 2 to a movie or something like that, it's p, p. So don't get confused between b and p, because the bucket sound that we learned first, actually it's not a hard b sound, it's b. So you make your lips, you kind of tuck them in like that, and you say b. But then the part 2, the little sequel symbol at the bottom, is a hard P, so p, p. Then going on down past that, the little thing that looks like a mountain top, like a summit, it's s, s. Cool? So let's go down the list here without saying those 2 that we haven't learned yet. So we've got b, b, then d, d, then g, g, then m, so we skipped to the rattlesnake for now, m, then n, n, p, p, s, s. And again, Korean is not a tonal language, so it doesn't matter how high-pitched or low-pitched you say any of these, as long as you have that sound. Perfect. You guys sound great. Alright, so going back up to the top on that consonant side there, the little circle, this is our special character, okay? So this character, at the beginning of a word, I'm going to repeat that, at the very beginning of a word, it makes no sound. It's silent. So it actually acts as just a placeholder to complete the character set. If it comes at the end of a word, or at the end of a character box, it makes the sound ng. So like ng. Cool? We'll see more examples of that later, so don't stress about that right now. Just keep that sort of in the back of your noggin. That's one of those, that's our special friend, is the circle one. Alright, so then moving down, the one right underneath gyok, the g sound, it says rattlesnake right next to it, but that sound is called riol. And that sound is really difficult for a lot of native English speakers to pronounce, simply because it's in between an R and an L sound. So it's r, r. So it's not necessarily rolling your R's like in Spanish, for example, but it's sort of that flick of the tongue motion, like r, r. So I think they said rattlesnake just because that's sort of the most similar thing. But yeah, just know it's somewhere in between R and L. And that's also another thing that I always say when I teach people Korean, people the alphabet, is I like to say that that's the reason why the most stereotypical Asian accent for like comedians to do, the easiest thing to do is just switch R's with L's. Like instead of hello, saying like hero or something like that, because literally in Korean or in like Japanese too, they don't have a separate R and L sound. So when Koreans are learning English, that's one of the most difficult things, is they have to figure out how to switch one sound, how to split it up into 2 separate sounds. Can you imagine how difficult that must be? So same thing for us. We have to learn how to make an R and an L sound together into one sound. So it's kind of difficult at first. It takes practice. But yeah, that's just one of those things I wanted to explain. That's why I had to go back. So starting from the top again, on the consonant side, let's just review really quick. So that first one, our little friend, makes what sound? Wow, there was silence. Good job. So when it comes at the beginning is silent, and when it comes at the end, it makes the ng sound. So the next one down is b, our b up, b, b, then d, d, then g, g, then r, r, then m, m, then n, n, then p, p, then s, s. That was kind of like a rap, right? All right. Now these two vowels on the right hand side are the first two that we're going to look at. So he says right there, obviously these are not the real names, but that's what they look like. So he circled the sound that he thinks it makes most closely. So that first vowel we look at, it just looks like a straight line down, right? So pretty easy. Oh, one more thing. I'm so sorry. One more thing I forgot to mention about the consonant side is the g, the little gun symbol, and the n, the like nose thing, look really similar to each other. So you really have to pay attention to not flipping or miswriting those, just because if you look at them, they're both just right angles, man. So you gotta make sure that for the g, you're starting over and then coming down. And for the n, you're going down first and then going over. Just one of those things to watch out for. So now back to the vowels. So that first vowel is just a line, and it makes the sound E. E. Just like the letter E, but a little bit longer. And then the second one, that's kind of like a flat line there. This one, I like to think of it as, instead of brook, like what he said, when you smell something disgusting, you go, ugh, ugh. So it makes the sound, ugh, ugh. Yeah, just think of it like that. If that helps, I hope. So we're going to move on to the next slide here. Please feel free, though, to rewind this video, obviously, and watch this slide again. Even mute me and practice the sounds by yourself. I would not blame you. Yeah, so, but with that being said, we will move on here. All right, so what the heck do I do with these? Each syllable is squished into one block, and each block must have one consonant and one vowel. Just like English, you can't make a word with all vowels. You can't make a word with all consonants, right? You got to have a partnership there. You got to have both pieces to form the words. So if you don't need a consonant, this is really important, just use the circle, our little friend from earlier, as a placeholder. Its name is ing. Ing is that symbol's name. So yeah, for example, if we're writing the word E, if we go back to the previous slide, we see that the E, we remember that that's just a vowel. So, if we just hear a vowel sound, then we know we need that placeholder to create the word. So yep, you just write it with the placeholder first, and then E, the sound, right next to it. And then that's your word. And that word actually means teeth. E. E. Yep, so the letter that we learned back there has no meaning by itself, but this one that we see right at the top of this slide, E, means teeth. That's an actual word. So that's your kind of your first word, I guess. That's kind of cool. So then the second one down there, we can see our bup, our bucket, right? B, plus E. So you literally just say B plus E equals B. B. Easy enough, right? So now our next one is D, like the door, right? D plus E equals D. Next one down is, do you remember? The gun. G plus E equals Gi. Gi. All right, going down, remember that's our rattlesnake. That's the weird RL one. So that is the plus E equals the. Then the next one down is M. Remember the map? So that's M plus E equals me. And no, it doesn't mean me, just me. We're just working on pronunciation here and putting the letters together. So then we continue down, then N plus E equals ni. Then P plus E, P. Then S plus E actually equals she. So with the sheet, with the S sound, when it's paired next to the E, it makes kind of a sh sound. So yeah, just keep that in the back of your noggin as well. She. All right, if you take a look at the right-hand column, let's go ahead and try those out now. So we see our placeholder, right? At the top, not the bottom. So we automatically know that this symbol is going to make a vowel sound. So we see our placeholder and we can skip over it completely and read just that bottom character, which is, remember the trash? Ooh. Ooh. Then we keep going down and that is B plus which equals B. Then we've got D plus equals D. And we've got G plus equals G. Then we've got R plus equals D. M plus equals M. N plus equals N. P plus equals P. S plus equals S. Cool. All right. I don't know if we need to go back through those or not, but I'm just going to read through them really quick, and hopefully you can repeat after me or say them with me. So starting from the top left, we've got E, B, D, G, B, me, ni, P, she, B, D, G, D, M, N, P, S. Good job! Hopefully you got that. All right, so then at the bottom here, we can see these two words, do not remember them. They're not actual words with meaning. We're just working on pronouncing and working on like the spelling, okay? So this thing on the bottom here, we can see 3 characters in one word. That's a little crazy, right? So don't get freaked out by that. The most characters that will be in a single box, hopefully you can see also at the bottom of the screen how you can kind of draw a box almost around these like character clusters, I'll call them. So yeah, that's how you would write, and the most characters that will ever be in one of those boxes is 4. And it's not used very often. So actually most things have either 2 or 3 sort of symbols within that block. So for the first one, let's try to read it. It's got the word bean next to it. So you can see B, right? Our bucket, our B up. And then we have plus E, right? Our straight line, E. You can think of it like standing tall like a tree. E. And then we have at the bottom, what is that? Our schnoz, right? N. So B plus E plus N equals bean. Bean. Cool? All right. And then the second one here, it doesn't mean book, but you can kind of, I guess what this is going to sound like. but we've got b plus plus k, k. So that symbol at the bottom is the g, right, plus an extra line in the middle. So when we see that extra line added, it's k, like it's pronounced harsher. So it becomes kind of a K sound. So book, book. Let's kick it up a notch. Okay, so yes, what I just said, if you add a little notch to the letters, you can change the sound that they make. So g with a little in the middle becomes k, k. Remember our door, d, becomes t, t. Our special character, which was not anything, if you put a little hat on him, those two lines at the top, it's kind of like a top hat, if that helps you think of it, that is actually h, h. And that specific character too, the one that looks like it's got a top hat, that specific character, if you type that like in a row, if you just type a line of like the then that's actually haha or LOL in Korean. Same thing with at the top, we've got g and k, right? So that k is actually how Koreans laugh in texting. So they're like, it sounds like Cardi B, right? But yeah, you would just use that just in a line to laugh, like if your friend says something funny. Or all right, moving on. Underneath the circle friend, we have s. Remember s from the first slide? Then if you put a little hat on s, it becomes j, j. And then if you put a little notch on the top, you get ch, ch. So it's kind of like J and CH. So yeah, if you add a little notch on a vowel, it'll sound like the place you put it. So here we go. It says on a tree, and if there's two trees, honestly, this is one of those things where I kind of stray from the comic in a sense. So if we look on the left-hand side, this first vowel that we come across, it is aw, aw. So what you're going to want to do to pronounce this one is make your mouth form the O sound, or the O shape, my apologies, and say the ah sound. So you're going to go aw, aw. Does that make sense? Aw, aw. So you're not saying O, but it's kind of like a more open O, if that makes sense. Then the one that goes down and to the right, the line that cuts out to the right next to it, is ah. So pretend you're at the dentist, right? Like ah, ah. That's literally that sound. So it's aw, ah. If you watch like Korean dramas or something, the aw, aw, that's sort of the sound that we're going for with that first vowel. Aw, aw, aw. All right, so moving on to that third one we have over there. He wrote like before or after. Honestly, I think of it like the first one we run into there with the two lines and the one line sort of jutting out the side. That's eh, eh. And then the one right next to it that looks sort of like an H. I think of like Joey from Friends, like the "Hey, how you doing?" right? That one is a A, A. So it's eh, A. All right, so from the top we've got ah, ah, eh, A. Now on the bottom we have O. This is the actual O sound that we're used to. O. Okay, with the line with the sticking up here in the middle. And then if the line is pointing down, so like that, the line is pointing down, so it's oo, oo. So we have a, 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 o, oo. And the oo, it kind of resembles like a crying sound, like ooh, boo hoo hoo, right? So if you are a fan of K-pop by any chance, the band Twice, their song TT is because of this ooh, because that's how you say you're crying about something in Korean when you text too. So you can say ooh, or we'll learn it later, but if you type the U, then you can also show just like TT, ooh. So if that helps you remember at all that is that symbol, fantastic. All right, moving on here. All right, double consonants are, so remember our bucket, the B. If you add another bucket to that, then you've got twice the water, right? So you make it B, B. Just stress the sound. It's not a huge addition there or like rule that you have to remember. Just if you see two of them in a row, just like for example, G is another one, the gun one. If you see two G's, then it's G, G, right? You just kind of punch the sound in a way. All right, so these ones are really fun. Don't get scared by the fact that you see three things underneath there, but you see our little circle friend, and then we've got, if you break it down, we've got O, right? We just learned that. O plus A. So that, when you say it fast, O-ah, 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 wa, right? So whenever we have those two vowels right next to each other in that situation with the placeholder, with our circle friend at the top, it makes the W sound. So wa, wa. So same thing, next to it, we have we, we. So O plus E is we. Then moving on, we have O plus A. How you doing, right? So O plus A equals way, way. And way means why. So if you remember that symbol right in the middle there and put a question mark on it, you just asked why in Korean. We? We? On you we? So the next character right after we is U plus E. Ooey, ooey, we, right? We, it's fun. We. Then the next one is U plus A. A. So, wa, wa. So the one right on the edge that looks like it's got a little description next to it, just remember that this is the only sound that you actually have to pronounce both letters or both characters. Okay, so we've got our placeholder, which again we don't say anything for, and then we have plus E. 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 All right, so that little character, that that letter, you pronounce actually both individual sounds. Ui, ui, ui. So with all the rest of them, you don't say oa, oa. You say wa, we, we, wo. And that specific one on the end, you say ui, ui. Now I'm going to stop for a second because I just realized you guys might be thinking, wait, how do I break this down? How do I know what timing to pronounce these things in, right? So actually each character, each block that we talked about earlier is a syllable. So that's how you know how many blacks to write to when you hear a word, right? So whether you did this when you were younger, however you learned how to do the syllables, for me it's the clap test. So like my name is Gwen, so like Gwen or Gwen, you know, or like if your name is Amanda, 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 right? It's 3 syllables. So if you spelled out Amanda, it would be 3 blacks. Amanda, right? So with this, same thing. We're going to pronounce the black in 1 syllable. So we say wa. We don't say o-ah. Wa, right? Same thing with ui. We just say ui. All right, so going back to this slide, on the bottom we have, if you double up on a notch, it adds the Y sound. So we talked about adding a little notch to the consonants, remember? So we changed g to k and d to t, right? So when you add a second line on the vowels, it just adds a Y sound in front. So we have y'all. So, okay. Each of these things, let's pretend that one of those lines is gone. So remember that we had the all, and then we have ah, and then and then the how you doing, right? And then o, ooh, right? But when we add that second line on each one of those letters, then it adds just y'all. So reading left to right, it says y'all, ya, yeah, yeah, yo, and you. Does that make sense? Rewind if you need to go over any of these sounds again. Yes. So yeah, and then at the end, if you put our little circle friend at the end, at the bottom of a syllable block, then it makes the ng sound, right? All right, let's see. Okay, practice time. So do me a favor right now and pause this video. I'll give you a second to do it. What I want you to do is make sure that you are practicing and actually sounding out these things instead of just guessing what character they are. But all of these things on the left-hand side are actually how you spell these characters' names in Korean. So just try your best to sound out what you think they're spelling out, and then when you do, press play on this video. Okay, I think everyone pressed pause. I'm just going to hope that. So yeah, you're back now. You did your practice. Hopefully none of them were too difficult for you. So now let's just go through each one here and see if you were right. So this first one, we've got B plus A, right? A, how you doing? Then we have T plus right? So B, T, and then the last one we have map, right? M plus A plus N, right? So men. So when we see those 3 blocks, we automatically know that's going to be 3 syllables, right? So we have to pronounce it like Be, T, men. Batman. Who is that? Batman, right? Batman. Another cool thing is that last syllable where I said men, that's actually how Koreans write out like the superhero movie names as well. They always use that for man. So like Ant-Man too would be N-to-men with that same man. That's obviously not how you say man in Korean, but they just decide to spell it out because it's an American movie, or Western movie, I should say. All right, so the second one, who do we have here? We have T plus O equals to, and we see that we have that same symbol, right? So it's to plus do, 르 plus 오. 토토로. 토토로. Totoro, right? The American pronunciation is so different, right? Totoro. So yeah, that is that little guy on the right hand corner. On the bottom, he is from a Japanese Studio Ghibli movie, I believe. Studio Ghibli? Who knows? Yeah, and then the third one down, we have M, our map, plus O, right? So Mo, Mo. That is, I believe, the Simpsons character at the top, middle right there. Then the fourth one is Ma, Ri, O. Mario. Mario. It's me, Mario, right? That is Mario at the bottom left there. And I think that the Korean pronunciation is actually probably more similar to like the Italian or whatever roots that he's supposed to be from than ours, right? So that's Mario. Then the next one is Ni, Mo, Nemo. Finding Nemo, right? The next one down, this might have thrown you for a loop because it looks a little bit longer, right? But hopefully everyone got it. That is H plus A plus D plus E. So he, the, and then the next, you see that there's a space in between the D and the po. So P plus O. That's because that shows you it's a new word, right? So po, ta. Remember T plus O. Harry Potter. Harry Potter. So Harry Potter is what that one would be. Next one down, we have our fancy placeholder, right? Then we have E plus the. So El, Mo. Elmo. Right? It's not Elmo. That's 3 syllables, right? It's Elmo. Elmo. Next one down, we have Mickey. Mickey. It's Mickey Mouse. Then the last one on our list, we have G plus O plus the, 골. And then since we have the L as the last symbol on the first block and the first symbol on the second block, we kind of carry that sound, if that makes sense. There's 2 in a row, right? So just like if we have 2 L's in an English word, we know we kind of drag that sound out, right? So that's 골럼. 골럼. Good job, guys. Hopefully everyone got that and that wasn't too tricky. Yeah, I just like that little exercise. I think it's super fun. So our next one here. C is super easy. Practice writing your own name, your favorite characters. You may have to replace a letter or add an extra vowel to make it work. So in Korean, they actually don't have the F, V, or Z sounds. So any F will become P, any V will become B, and any Z will become J. So for example, if your name is Veronica, you would spell that like Veronica, Veronica, because you can't have a V sound, so it would be B. It's kind of cute, right? If your name is, oh geez, like my little brother's name is Zachary, okay? So Zachary would write his name like Jacari, Jacari, Jackery, kind of, with a J sound instead. Yeah, so now you can read and write in Hangul, the Korean alphabet. Round of applause from me, your teacher, your 선생님. Hopefully this helped. If you need to rewatch any parts, please go back and watch those. But yeah, you guys are all pros now at Hangul, the Korean alphabet. Even though this seemed like a lot, I just wanted to make sure I explained everything thoroughly and really took the time to go through things, just because I think it's important for your learning. And even if I was super annoying and you thought that I was just very long-winded, I apologize. But please feel free to watch me in double speed or whatever. It might be more fun. So yeah, thank you for watching this. And I do have a couple more things just to help with practicing, but for the most part, that is it. So stick with me if you would like to continue reviewing what we just learned. I already talked about the structure with you, but some important rules that you should know when spelling out each character block is the number 2, so the second letter is always, always, always a vowel. 100%, no exceptions, always a vowel. One more time for the people in the back. It's always a vowel. So don't forget that. Like the things that we were going over earlier, if you want to take a look back at the character screen, we've got 배트맨, right? The e, the and the e again are always the second one in the block, right? So we always want to make sure that the number 2 letter is a vowel. And then 1, 3, and sometimes 4 are always consonants. So you can never have 2 vowels immediately next to each other, like kind of like those things that we learned earlier, the o plus a equals wa, right? That's not 2 separate letters, it's just wa. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, quiz time. Everyone studied, right? Everyone prepared in the last 40 minutes. All right, so we're just going to go through these really quick, and I'm going to give you a second to see if you can answer it, and then hopefully you do. Hopefully you answer before me. All right, here we go. Oh, oh, yo, yo. So right, so we had the O, and we just added that second line to make the Y sound in front. O becomes yo. E, like a tree, right? E. Just like T. Ooh, ooh. Added that second line. You, like you, crank that soldier boy. All right, this is E. Yeah. Remember Joey from Friends? A. Yay. Remember the dentist? Ah. Then ya. Ooh. All. Y'all. Okay, those were all of the vowels. Are you kidding me? What? You nailed it. All right, so now for the consonants. Here we go. Ooh, I did not go easy on you from the beginning. Do you have it? The. B. Remember the bucket? Sequel, part 2. P. Oh, I didn't hear anything, so that means you got it right. So yes, if this comes at the beginning, again, it makes no sound, but at the end of a character block, it makes an sound. So if you don't know, the word 안녕 is how you say hello, hi to your friends, and that actually contains this circle character twice. The first time is silent, the second time is that NG, so you might want to practice with that if you need help differentiating where that comes into play. Remember that top hat? H. D, D. It's like the door, right? Then we add that extra line in the middle. T, T. G, G. It's like a gun. Extra line. K, K. J, J. So this actually, it had a different font. So just like with English, different letters can look different depending on which font you use. With Korean, it's the same thing. So this is actually ch, like we talked about earlier. Ch. N, N. Remember the map? That is M, M. Remember the summit of the mountaintop? This one is S, S. Okay, and actually that is the last slide for this one. So thank you guys so much for trusting me to be your Korean language teacher. I promise I will do a good job. I will try my best to get you accurate information and to be here with you to practice whenever you need it as well. Please send me an email if any of this was confusing for you. Please rewatch this video as well as many times as you need, probably in double speed, just to get those pronunciations and things like that in place. I will try to get these videos out every week for at least 6 weeks and just keep posting and keep you updated about that. I will also post like cultural tip videos as well for those who may be interested more about Korean culture and less about the language, or interested in both. Obviously, if you made it this far in the video, you're probably a little bit interested in learning the language. So to that, I salute you, dear friend, and I will see you on the flip side. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel so that you can get notified or like get those updates about whenever I post a new video. And happy learning. 감사합니다. 좋은 하루 되세요. Have a good day. Bye.